Well, hey there. Hope you're having a good day. I'm going to do something fun today. Pink and purple worm challenge. I was in Walmart the other day with my daughter and she wanted to buy pink and purple little like 4-inch worms, kind of Lucky Strike brand curl-tail worms. I don't know that I'm familiar with these, but they were only like $1.50, so $1.50 worms in 6-year-old girl approved colors of pink and purple. She loved them. I'm not so crazy about them, but let's go see what the bass think. Show you here what we have hooked up in this pink and purple worm challenge. I've got a swim bait with this little pink one that has the little curl tail on it. I've got a Texas rig, the purple one, it's a little bit longer, and I've got the purple one on a shaky head. So we're gonna go see if the bass like the pink and the purple that my daughter likes so much. There's a fish. Oh, pretty decent one. Not a monster. It's not a monster, but it's a pretty decent one. Come here. Oh yeah. First bass of the day. Pinned right through the top on the purple worm. So there you go, Lisette. Your purple worm worked. Kind of a thin bass right there, but plenty long. Little 1.5 pound, 2 pounder. Probably 2 pounder as long as it is. Put it on the scale and see. Just about 2 pounds even. Well, that's fun right there. Purple worm bass number 1. Let's get it back in the water. There's fish. Oh, you're hanging on a branch somewhere. Get off there. Get off there. Not a big one, but it is on the pink worm. There we go. That's a nice chubby one. Nice chubby one. So we've at least accomplished the task of catching them on the purple worm and the pink worm. Well, there we go. Pink worm and purple worm. I don't know if I'd exactly recommend them. We're catching some bass with them. Well, one on each. And that's a pretty looking bass too. Nice healthy one. So let's get back to work and see if we can find a few more with this pink and purple worm challenge. That bass had an exuberant departure. Let's go try to find its big brother or mama. Here we go. Little one. Well, not as little as I thought. I think I said that a couple of times now. There we go. 14-inch bass on the purple worm. I'm fishing. There's a weed line. I'm not sure if you can see it, but I'm fishing basically on a weed line here with the wind blowing into it. I'm trying to stay off of it just a little bit. Purple worm strikes again. Here's a fish. there we go. Another purple worm bass. Oh, let me tell you what. We're having to work for them with the purple worm. I'll give you a little recap of my thoughts on this. I think the challenge of catching them on a pink and purple worm has been successful. Although I don't know if this is the most productive color scheme if you're looking for really good quality and a really good quantity of fish. But I'll go into that a little bit later in the wrap-up. Well, hey there, we're back at the house, and we caught 3 bass on the purple worm and 1 bass on the little pink one. And so the challenge of catching some bass with my daughter's selection of lures was successful, although we didn't catch a whole lot of good fish or good numbers. We caught 1 2-pounder and then a couple in the pound to a pound and a half range. But I wanted to tell you a little bit about why these didn't produce like some of the other ones. And so what I've done is I've brought a couple of my favorites here. As far as stick baits for the shaky head, and I don't have any sponsors. In fact, I get these, I don't know, wherever I can get them cheap. I like these Yum or very similar stick baits. You'll notice the difference here. And so this is a little 4-inch and this is a little 5-inch worm. But as you see, they're very thin, and also the plastic is it's almost too hard and a little brittle. Same thing with the purple one. Now, for a shaky head, I have right here, once again, the same length, 4-inch and a 5-inch of these little stick baits. Now I catch a lot more on these. It doesn't necessarily have to be this green pumpkin with the chartreuse. That's my go-to color. Something in the green pumpkin or something in the black and blue are my favorite go-to colors. I don't get too carried away. I carry a jar of chartreuse dye to dye the tips if I don't purchase them pre-packaged like that. But the reason these are more successful is you see there's a thicker profile there. There's a little bit more meat to it that's enticing to the bass. Also, if you're fishing this on a shaky head, it has a tendency to stand up better in the water. It'll have a tendency to stand up a little bit better because this is a little bit buoyant and it'll stand up a little bit more. Whereas if you're fishing this and it's not as buoyant, it's just going to be kind of drooping down a little bit. This will have a tendency to stand up a little bit more. So it has a little bit thicker, a little bit more body to it, and it stands up a little bit more. Same thing with this one, thus making a more appealing and appetizing meal for the bass. I like soft plastics that aren't exactly translucent for most water clarities. And so if you're going to the store and you see these here, you can catch some fish with them, but you'd probably be better off fishing something like this. I didn't catch a bass on the shaky head with these 2 lures. All of them I caught were Texas rigged. And so, once again, the Texas rig, I'll Texas rig a stick bait sometimes. I will Texas rig a creature bait, like this blue one here, this black and blue. Can be used as a jig trailer, or just Texas rigged, or if you're punching, as a underneath the punching skirt. One of my favorite ones to use is this Rage Craw. It's simple. It has big pinchers that do a lot of flopping, and it slows it down on its fall, but it doesn't have a lot of excessive girth to it. See how much thicker this one is? This one I like using if you're Texas rigging or if you're using it on a heavy jig. This one is a little bit more narrow, It has a lot of flop in the paddles as it falls, but because it's more narrow, it falls a little bit straighter and a little bit more predictable at times when you're in brush. It doesn't get hung on the sides when you're going down through branches. And the 4-inch or the 3-inch, I like the 3-inch if I'm using as a jig trail, a 4-inch for a standalone on a hook. And these Rage Craws, it's got the little red watermelon flakes in it on that green pumpkin color. Those are two good ones to use. Probably had I done these two here and those stick baits, I would have been a lot more productive than using the pink and the purple. Also, as just a worm, on a Texas rig worm, power worm of some sort, once again, I like the green pumpkin with the chartreuse tail. Sometimes I'll just have a straight green pumpkin and dip the tail of it in chartreuse, or black and blue is fine. And so, once again, a little bit more girth, a little bit more mass, a little bit easier to see, and a little bit more appetizing for even smaller bass. I've caught bass less than 10 inches on a 10-inch power worm. The challenge was successful in catching bass on what my daughter picked out, the cheapest soft plastics you can use. Yep, there she is, she's watching me. While you can catch bass on the pink and purple, the cheapest type of soft plastics you can buy, if you're really looking to catch bass, you're probably better off going just a little bit more expensive. I think it's a lot easier to catch fish on 10-inch power worm, a 4 or 3-inch Havoc Pit Boss, a Rage Craw, and a Yum stick bait of some sort. And if you want a go-to color, you can't go wrong with a green pumpkin and chartreuse, or a black and blue. Those will get bites just about anywhere in the country. So, while you can catch fish on pink and purple, you're probably better off fishing black and blue or green pumpkin and chartreuse. Hope you learned something. Hope this has been fun. Until next time, I'm Daniel, the Low Budget Outdoorsman. God bless.